If you are an NFL fan, you should know who Nathan Peterman is. If not, he's that guy who threw all those picks in his first NFL start. How was he not cut? A guy who was so horribly bad on almost every bit of game film we have on him, it makes you wonder, how did he make it to the NFL at all? Was he a fraud? How did he beat out Josh Allen for a starting job? And how did he hang on for 7 years in the NFL? And counting. There's a lot more to the story than just a guy who became a meme that throws picks. And all of that is coming up right after this. Nathan Peterman was born in 1994 in Jacksonville, Florida. He went on to Bartram Trail High School, where he developed into a 4-star passer. He's tall, he has decent hair, and looks like a QB. All things you need to make it at the position. That's when Derek Dooley and his flaming orange pants came calling, convincing Peterman to commit to Tennessee in 2011. Real quick, Peterman is part of the worst pro-style QB recruiting class I have ever seen. Take a look at these names. Oh my gosh, they all suck. Talk about a barren wasteland of signal callers. But I digress. Now in Knoxville, Peterman got a rude awakening as he was redshirted and Dooley was fired mid-season after the Volunteers lost to Vanderbilt. God, that's gotta hurt. In his redshirt freshman season of 2013, Peterman lost the quarterback battle to Justin Worley, kicking off his mediocratic rise. Peterman made his first career start later that season against number 19 ranked Florida in the Swamp. He went an unremarkable 4 for 11 for 5 yards plus 2 interceptions, showing that he had a knack for manning down when the lights got bright. Coming into Peterman's third season in Knoxville, the quarterback job was his to grab. The only issue was Worley got the job again, plus a new guy named Joshua Dobbs passed Peterman on the depth chart. Now, here's where things get interesting. Peterman didn't have to enter the transfer portal. He had already graduated from Tennessee in 3 years. I guess not playing that much gave him plenty of time to not only study his playbook, but study communications. The greener pastures that Peterman chose was Pitt. Peterman once again lost the starting QB contest in the Steel City, this time to some guy named Chad Voitic, but replaced him after only 2 games. In his first start, he went 20 of 29 for 220 yards, 2 touchdowns, and you guessed it, 2 interceptions. The kid is a gunslinger. He kept the starting job for the rest of the year, leading the Panthers to an 8-5 record in Pat Narduzzi's first year with the program. Not bad, little Nathan. Peterman returned to Pittsburgh for his final season, where he helped lead the Panthers to a massive 43-42 win over the eventual national champion Clemson Tigers. In the defining game of his college career, Peterman threw for over 300 yards and 5 touchdowns as the Panthers gave Clemson their only loss that season. Pittsburgh once again went 8-5, but Peterman threw for 2,855 yards, 27 TDs, and only 7 picks. Pretty solid numbers along with a signature game. You can see why the NFL would at least be interested in this guy. The Buffalo Bills picked Peterman 171st overall in the 5th round of the 2017 NFL Draft, one of the oddest drafts ever, where Mitch Kissintitties was the first QB taken, but then some guy named Patrick Mahomes went number 10 overall, a pick the Bills had, then traded to the Chiefs, and Groper Cleveland also went number 12. Other notable QBs in this draft were Deshaun Kaiser, CJ Beathard, party animal Chad Kelly, and Peterman's ex-teammate Joshua Dobbs. In Buffalo, he competed with Joe Webb for the backup role, but ultimately would sit behind cursed QB Tyrod Taylor. Peterman made the roster for what would become a bizarre season. The Bills started 5-3, and despite being over 500, a lot of criticism was sent Tyrod Taylor's way. And so in a Week 10 game when Tyrod Taylor was struggling, Peterman came in against the Saints and led the team on a scoring drive, tightening the score to 47-10. Sean McDermott had seen enough. It was time for the Nathan Peterman era to begin in Buffalo. The next week, the Bills named Peterman their starting passer for the team's Week 11 game with the Los Angeles Chargers. And guess what? The rookie would tie an NFL record in his first start. Pretty good, right? Yeah. No, Peterman threw 5 interceptions, not in the entire game, but in the first fucking half.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
Do you understand how hard it is to throw 5 picks in one half of an NFL football game these days? The 5 turnovers tied the most by a player in their first start, but Peterman didn't even get to play the second half, being mercifully benched for a healthy Tyrod Taylor. What's wild is, despite the idiocy of starting Peterman, Tyrod Taylor and the Bills rallied and still made the playoffs in dramatic fashion, ending a long playoff drought. Taylor would receive a concussion, and Peterman actually played in the wildcard game against the Jags. With a chance to tie it late, the gunslinger took the field. He moved the chains twice before, you guessed it, turning the ball over as Jalen Ramsey took the ball away, sealing a 10-3 win for the Jaguars. Coming into the next season, the Bills traded Taylor but also drafted a guy named Josh Allen. Peterman somehow won the starting job coming out of camp, beating out Josh Allen to start the season. Had he done well, he could have shelved Josh Allen for an indefinite amount of time. Well, he didn't. In week 1 against the Ravens, he went 5 for 18 with 2 interceptions and not a single first half first down. In the game, he had a passer rating of 0. The job now belonged to Josh Allen, who started the following week against the Chargers, where the late Vontae Davis retired during halftime. To say wherever Peterman went brought chaos is an understatement, but that isn't the end of Peterman's season. Just a few weeks later, against the Houston Texans, Josh Allen took a late hit, and once again, Peterman was back in action. And hey, he tied up the game before tossing 2 interceptions, including a pick 6. At this point, McDermott once again had enough, and the Bills signed Derek Anderson off the street, as it looked like Allen would be out for a while. Anderson promptly suffered a concussion 2 weeks later, and we were back to the meme. Peterman would start the Week 9 game against the Bears, and this arguably was the best game of his NFL career. He rushed for a score and threw for a career-high 188 yards, paired with only 3 interceptions, one being returned for a score as his team lost 41-9 to the Bears. Yes, the Bears. This was mercifully the end to Peterman's season, one where he threw for 3 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. He was so bad, USA Today called him historically bad, and he was legitimately awful. Peterman was subsequently released during the season, with most Bills fans calling for him to be fired into the sun. Now, Peterman could have just given up like most logical humans would, and it looked like that might have been the case, as in 2019, he didn't play in the NFL, spending most of his time on the Raiders practice squad.
20 seconds, Nate! Hurry up, Nate! 16! Throw it! Damn it! Hey, Nate! You gotta hurry up, man. It takes forever. Start the motion, get it going. We're running out of time. My life is running out of lifespan. So casual. Like a house mouse.
But in 2020 and 2021, he played in 1 game for the Raiders each season, miraculously not throwing any picks. In 2022, he made the roster for the Chicago Bears, appearing in 2 games because of a variety of injuries, and on Christmas Eve, he would once again get a chance to prove he belonged in this league.
That's impressive. I can tell you that was going to happen. Here's the Hail Mary.
And he threw a pick, ironically, against the Bills. Since then, he was up and down on the Bears practice squad, got signed by the Saints, but didn't make the roster out of camp, and was signed and released by the Raiders, where he is currently on their practice squad. Maybe crazy things will happen, as the Raiders are one of the most QB depleted squads in all of football right now, though they have Gardner Minshew, which is enough man for all of us. Here's the thing, even if Nathan Peterman's time on the field is over, these are the facts. He played 7 NFL seasons for 3 NFL teams, and to be maybe one of the worst NFL QBs ever, he has made over $7.4 million. More power to you, Nate. You're an absolute legend. This just in, since the writing of this video, Nathan Peterman had been cut by the Las Vegas Raiders and now has been signed by the Atlanta Falcons onto their practice squad, which is fitting. I don't know. Falcons and failure like Nathan Peterman just go together. Good luck.